USC football, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino, kicks off in 2 hours. But the tailgating, that starts now. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI.
From the 4-yard line, and Branch slowly working up the field, then turns on the Jets. Cuts it back in at the 20. He's going to go all the way. 96 yards. Zachariah Branch, how do you do?
Brought to you by YETI. We make the gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder. By Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC football. By Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC athletics. And by Smart Stop Self-Storage, the smarter way to store. Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today. And now, here are your Trojan Tailgate Show hosts, Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown.
Welcome to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI. You're looking live at the beautiful Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum as we get you set for a Pac-12 showdown. Two top 20 teams, the number 18 USC Trojans, the number 14 Utah Utes. Both teams with just one loss in the season. The Trojans still undefeated in conference, but took their first loss of the season last week in South Bend. We'll get into that and much more. I am Jordan Moore, my man Sean Cody, the man, Sua Cravens.
Hey. And the newcomer, no shades, missed the memo, Max Brown.
QB Max Brown looking good in black at the end there. Happy to be with you guys. It was an unhappy night, unfortunately, for the Trojans last week in South Bend. Sua picked Caleb Williams to be his best in the game and threw a little hex on him, and Caleb played the worst game of his career, to be honest. I mean, I think he would say that. Anyone would say that. It's just all there in the stats. It just was not his night, and they were leaning on him to do so much that there wasn't a whole lot else.
Yeah, really struggled, Caleb Williams did. 3 interceptions in the first half, and you say that before the game, you wouldn't even believe it. Only threw for 199 yards, 1 touchdown, 3. We talked about the picks, and then sacked a bunch. Just under pressure all night, never really got it going. 23 of 37 for 62%. Just felt uncomfortable, and credit Notre Dame with making him feel uncomfortable in that pocket. Offensive line struggled for USC, and Caleb was under heat all night, made some poor throws, bad decisions, and it just kind of never really got on track for the Trojans.
I think the curse is real. I think that every time I pick a player, he decides to, just something weird happens. And maybe we should make a new rule where I can pick guys on the opposite team, because I am a homer, so I want to win. So, it kind of handicaps me a little bit when you guys, make this rumor or this curse even more real each week.
Max, when I look at interceptions, to me they come in buckets. One is decision-making, one is technique, and then one time is sort of desperation, right? You get a bunch of interceptions sometimes and Hail Marys and things like that. Where do you put the picks? In what bucket?
That's funny you said. I think all 3 of them are in their own bucket there, and we'll dive into that in a different segment where we're breaking down those plays. But I think the turnovers are a byproduct of all season long. Caleb feeling like he needs to play like Superman, and it feels like this offense needs to score on every possession to take up for the defense. And that was a game where Caleb has one bad throw early on in the game, that first pick, and then he's pressing from then on out the rest of that first half especially. To his credit, he settled down, but that was a variation of Caleb we hadn't seen yet this season, really the past 2 seasons, really the past 3 seasons since he's been in college football. And I mean, Sua mentions the curse. It's been a curse ever since I've been a Trojan. I've never won in South Bend the past 12 years or so. So I guess it's on me just as much as anyone.
It's been a minute. Quite a few, almost a generation of Trojans have gone by without seeing a win at Notre Dame. And Sean, to win at Notre Dame, you have to win up front. That's what we talk about. Up front's going to be a story again here today. But they did not win on the offensive line. You mentioned the sack totals. They felt like they were playing sort of uphill all day. But with that said, the interior of the offensive line, such a strength last year, is really sort of in flux right now. Josh Henson, the offensive line coach, basically saying, other than Jonah Monheim, everything's up for grabs right now.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. This line has not come together like you've liked it. It's felt kind of uncomfortable all year. You got guys in different spots. You try to reach out to the portal and fill, like you said, Andrew Voorhees, Brett Nealon, try to fill those spots, and it hasn't really come together as a cohesive group yet. It seems like somebody at each position is kind of making a mistake at each play at a wrong time, whether it's a false start, whether it's a physical loss, whether it's a missed assignment. It just hasn't really matched up well like you saw it last year. Lincoln Riley kind of adopted that offensive line this year. This year tried to piece it together, and it hasn't come together like they wanted it yet.
And we talk about that, Sua, in the pass game and the pressure that Caleb Williams was under. But this idea of, they just need to run the ball more. The run's not popping either. I mean, we saw Marshawn Lloyd break one for a touchdown where they sort of went against tendency. We saw Zachariah Branch comes out of the backfield and have some success, but it's not exactly like USC has been running it that well after a good start to the season with Marshawn Lloyd.
Yeah, I mean, you can't run the ball more when you're down. When you get into a situation where you're trailing and the team gets the ball at the half and the clock is against you, you got to pass the ball, and that's kind of what happened when we went up to South Bend. They played into Notre Dame's hands, and they won the point of attack, forced us to pass the ball, and we're able to get pressure with just 4 and 5. So it's just a recipe for disaster, and it happens sometimes.
Yeah, we have a graphic on the screen for those of you listening on the radio. USC in the first 4 games this season averaged 192 rush yards per game. Last week against Notre Dame, 109. It wasn't a whole lot better against Arizona either. And then the other part of the offense, Max, that the last 2 weeks, again, some of these issues sort of started with Arizona offensively, and Caleb kind of willed the Trojans to that one. Notre Dame, we saw a lot of the same issues, and not a lot of guys open, not seeing a ton of separation. What are you seeing on film? Really, none of the receivers went off. We'll put some of their stats up on the screen, but there was no one really. We talked about Zachariah Branch, even that was in the return game and the run game. No one really opening it up in the pass game.
And he's a guy that we were excited the first couple weeks on, and it just feels like it's that momentum or that upward trajectory has plateaued a little bit, and that's really the case for all the guys, and has me thinking, hey, this might be the byproduct of not having a true number one receiver where, hey, last year you knew the rhythm of this offense, you knew the rhythm of the receiver unit because it was a clear kind of tiers to that group. This year, that's not the case. We haven't seen Zachariah Branch. Obviously, he's been banged up, but that progression we haven't seen. And then you mentioned it on Trojans Live Monday night, but Dorian Singer, I guess it was brought up in Lincoln's presser on Tuesday. Dorian Singer's a guy that was a high-profile transfer. He hasn't really settled into this year. It feels like they're close. They're still rotating a bunch of guys. You can see the talent, but it hasn't popped the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, Taj Washington even has been kind of quiet for the last few games. Brendan Rice has been good for most of the season. He did have a long pass interference play last week, but just there is no clear number one right now, and you can see it.
Yeah, you think Michael Jackson made a couple plays. So, I mean, they just haven't found the guy and felt comfortable with it. I thought Notre Dame's game plan was tremendous. They, decide, hey, let's see if this USC offense can execute all the way down the field, and that answer that night was an apparent no. And so USC's got to find a way to execute down the drive, whether it's quicker stuff, get the ball going, get in rhythm, get in tempo. It just wasn't going at Notre Dame.
And that's the thing too, Sua, the field position. I thought Notre Dame played so well because they got that early lead with the pick that basically was a pick six. They forced USC to feel like they were playing uphill all night because not until the Zachariah Branch long punt return did USC ever play in a short field.
Yeah, and if you look at the stats, it tells the same story. I think Notre Dame's offense only had around like 200 yards total offense. Yeah. They got so many short fields. The defense only can stay strong for so long. That bend but don't break mentality is a lot harder when the offense gets to start a drive on your 45-yard line and in, and they got a few that were on our 10-yard line. So, the defense, I think, played well, but there's only so much you can do versus that type of situation.
And it's wrapped up all, and Lincoln said this a couple times this past week. At the end of the day, when you lose the turnover battle 5-0, you can talk about all these different factors, but that's going to set you back no matter what, and that was the story of the game. If that's a equal turnover margin, the outcome could have been a lot different.
Yeah, also the special teams touchdown, which we will get to later on in the show as well. Well, nice segue there by Sua. It was a pretty solid night for the defense, despite what the scoreboard might say. We'll get into that when we come back. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Alas, the ship rides to the morning. It's calling. It's calling. Me back home. Put down the sorrow and dance to me.
Rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, where you can be an impact player, a clutch hitter, or a wild card. No matter what your game is, the excitement and relaxation you're looking for is here. So get back to the fun and play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
This is Simone Jackson, breaks it wide open. She is on a tear. 3 goals in the last 2 games.
Trojan fans, did you know the Ralph's app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too? Check out the app today and save while you cheer us on to another great season. Ralph's, proud partner of USC Athletics. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Max Brown getting you set for a game that has been circled on every Trojan fan's calendar for quite some time now. This Utah team was the thorn in USC's side last year, a classic game in Salt Lake City, a shootout. USC did not get a lot of breaks in that game, probably was the better team over the course of 60 minutes, but it was a 2-point conversion at the end where Utah wins it. And then the Pac-12 championship game, Trojans are rolling, Caleb's hamstring goes, and it was all Utes after that. They beat USC twice and become the reigning Pac-12 champs coming in here today. It's the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI with Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown. I'm Jordan Moore. And guys, the Trojans needed to beef up their defense after last season. That game in Salt Lake City, the game in Las Vegas, the perfect examples. Be more physical, and they showed up last week in the Notre Dame game. They sort of held their end of the bargain, red zone defense notwithstanding. Yeah,
defense came to play, I thought. You know, they a bunch of 3-and-outs early in the game, all barring those turnovers, which put them at I think the 2, the 12, and the 50 to start out on USC side of the field for Notre Dame. So a rough start in that aspect. But I thought in a lot of ways the defense showed a lot of signs of life. I thought Tackett Curtis had his best game as a Trojan, flying around, making plays. Obviously, CRW had a big one covering the tight end for Notre Dame. But a really a step in the right direction. I thought the last couple of weeks this defense has been trending in the right way. Could use a little more pressure in the pass rush, but I think you see the want to and the will and the understanding, I think, of the defense as guys pick up their assignments and figure out how Alex Grinch want to use them in certain situations.
Yeah, I did think in terms of the pass rush in particular, Notre Dame's game plan was really conservative and just all sort of played in together. Once they got that lead, once they got USC pressing, they were very happy to punt and make USC go the full length of the field. They did not want to risk a turnover of their own, but you know they would have bludgeoned the Trojans and taken the life out of that game if they could have, Sua. But USC tackled really well. The stat officially is 2 missed tackles in the game. That is way below the numbers that we had been talking in previous weeks. So an improvement there.
Yeah, I think they got caught up in the energy of the rivalry game. I think when you get into that, atmosphere up there in South Bend, it's a primetime game. It's USC versus Notre Dame, one of the greatest rivalries in college football. You get caught up in the emotions. You play a bit faster. You run a bit harder. You want to hit people. You want to make a name for yourself. And it showed. And this is why it's easy to get frustrated, because we can do it. We just saw we can do it. We can play big. We don't need anybody else that isn't already in a USC uniform, and we can come to play and stand with the best of them. I think that the USC defense played well last week. I don't have much negative to say. I just want to see it be consistent now. You've shown it once, now show it every week.
How about the red zone, though, guys? Sean, you brought it up in Trojans Live. It's sort of, it's obviously terrible to be starting possessions first and goal for the other team. With that said, it could be a huge momentum boost and pick up your offense if you could hold them to a field goal. Notre Dame was 5 for 5 in red zone.
Yeah, I think that's the next level of defensive understanding and knowing that, I think this team has always been portrayed as an offensive unit, and this team in some aspects can find a way and find their identity as a defensive team. But hey, all right, we had a bad turnover, sudden change. You got to switch. It's a mentality on defense. It's a switch that's got to go off and be like, hey, our offense, had a bad play. Let's pick them up. Let's hold this team to 3. Get off the field. And some of those plays weren't so pretty for the defense were those short yardage plays that they got in there for easy scores. So got to find a way to switch that mentality, I think, to be like, hey, we can stop them. We can hold them to 3.
A sudden change stop is better than like a 3-and-out on the opening drive. There's just something about getting a stop when you start a drive on your
just
45.
Swing that momentum right away.
And you just know, like, once the offense gets the ball, and if they miss a field goal or something, the offense, like, you guys better score now.
Max, Christian Roland Wallace, we sort of thought would come in and take the Mekhi Blackman role from last season. It was sort of a weird start to the season. He had that half he had to serve a suspension from last year. So it didn't really quite ascend to that role. Seems like he has now, though. He has been USC's best corner for a few weeks now. He was fantastic in South Bend.
Yeah, and he's a good matchup for those bigger-bodied receivers or tight ends, too, when he's called upon. I mean, we had him in Trojans Live Monday night, and he's a big corner. I mean, he looks like a safety, but playing corner for SC. And I think not only for Christian Roland Wallace, but this entire defense today, it's a similar mentality playing Notre Dame as playing Utah. Notre Dame's offense is actually substantially better than what Utah's offense has been. But in terms of buckling up your chin strap, knowing that they want to run the rock, knowing that they want to activate their tight ends. For a guy like Christian Roland-Wallace in this secondary, it's a similar mindset of we got to come downhill, we got to be active in the run game, and keep your eyes and ears open for the play-action pass as well.
So one thing that Lincoln Riley noted was could use a little bit more playmaking. This team is now -1 in turnover margin of the season. It's the complete opposite of what we talked about last year. We knew maybe there would be some regression in the turnover luck department, but maybe a few more plays defensively is sort of the next step.
Yeah, and I don't even think we need so much the turnovers. I just think we need stops. We need pressure on the quarterback. Maybe more sacks is what I'd like to see, if not turnovers. Let's get pressure on the quarterback and get some more sacks so we can just guarantee that our offense gets the amount of possessions they need, because there comes times where we see this defense where we get them in 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 plus, and somehow they find a way to extend the drive.
Yeah, I think to me it's you got to look at the pass rush, and that's the way you generate plays, whether it's on the back end or up front. You get pressure on the quarterback, he's going to throw some picks. Those guys look like playmakers in the back end, or you can knock some balls out, strip cause fumbles right there. It's a good thing when you get that pass rush going. That's the next step, I think, for this defense as well.
Well, the Trojans are looking to knock off a ranked Utah team today. Women's volleyball did it last night. They knocked off number 4 Washington State in 5 sets. They're coming up against Washington. That is tomorrow at the Galen Center. It's a 2 p.m. game. They're calling it Sunday Fun Day. It's an awesome opportunity for dads and daughters. There's a $35 package that includes 2 game tickets, a grilling apron, and a cap. You can go to usctrojans.com/promos to pick that up and get to Galen. All right, we come back. Cody Kessler will join the show. We'll go 2 quarterback set and get to our offensive game plan. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
You can feel it. A force that moves everything around it. With intensity and power that comes from deep down inside. Full-time fans, your passion is unshakable, and you deserve a reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
What if you could use retirement accounts to invest in crypto? With iTrust Capital, you can. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in your favorite crypto assets 24/7 with the tax benefits of an IRA. So instead of paying taxes on your crypto gains every year, you can defer taxes till you retire using an iTrust IRA. Or with an iTrust Roth IRA, you can withdraw tax-free at retirement because you're in this for the long haul. Start investing today at itrustcapital.com.
It's not just designed to look good. It's built to command attention. It's not just a comfortable interior. It's a quiet refuge. They're not just headlights. They light the way forward. The new fully electric Audi Q8 e-tron models. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Today, a strong NIL program is essential to long-term success. Introducing House of Victory, a nonprofit, alumni-led, name, image, and likeness collective. As a proud NIL sponsor of the USC Trojans, we're dedicated to providing student-athletes NIL opportunities and resources.
Supporters can honor the tradition of victory by ensuring success in our future.
Victory is in the fabric of everything USC. Welcome into the House of Victory.
PM. Too much good stuff. Proud sponsor of USC Athletics and USC Football is brought to you by your local SoCal Audi dealers. Back on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI, we are joined on the stage by number 6, Cody Kessler. We've got 2 quarterbacks, Cody and Max. Here is your offensive game plan.
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7!
I don't know what red 7 means.
The USC Trojans offensive game plan is brought to you by AM/PM. Too much good stuff.
We have a Lincoln Riley first since he's been USC's head coach. The offensive breakdown's not a positive one. We're going to be looking at all 3 interceptions that Caleb threw last week, not only to show you what's going on, but also to show you the sky's not falling. And as we play the first play right here, for those watching the screen. First play right here, Caleb's got a little RPO right here. They're going to fake the run and try to have it be an outside zone to the left. Caleb sees both Notre Dame linebackers rush up towards the running back, try to sync with this handoff. Going to see the fake right there. Both Notre Dame linebackers seeing this run fake right here. That triggers for Caleb. He's going to pull this ball, and as we go to the back zone, or the back view right here, that allows Lake McCree to be the winning answer right there in the middle of the field. And instead of just airmailing this football like he does right here, which is the reason that it has the interception, just place it right on Lake McCree. It'll be just a 5-6 yard gain and move on. But instead, it's a rare miss by Caleb Williams, and it's this is the first turnover that kind of starts the negative snowball effect for Caleb Williams. The second interception right here. Put yourself inside Caleb's mind. He's like, man, I got to make a play. I got to make something happen. Notre Dame's going to bring a corner blitz from his right-hand side. Not the best block by Austin Jones. Still heats things up on Caleb Williams. Caleb's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to try to hit Dorian Singer on a little over route, and I think this is a miscommunication. Lincoln Riley mentioned it in his Tuesday presser that this is on Caleb, but it feels like Caleb was expecting Dorian Singer to go flat rather than continue to work up the field, and he missed two receivers on that play. Taj Washington was wide open and Zachariah Branch in the flat. The third interception, this is where our quarterback's really pressing, and this is uncharacteristic of Caleb. Again, getting pressure up in his middle in his face. Right guard trips on this play, forces Caleb to flush to the left, and he really just needs to take a couple steps to his left and then deliver this ball to Taj Washington working right to left. Instead, he flushes out, tries to make more than what's really there, and obviously Notre Dame comes up with the third interception. All three of these interceptions, like we were talking about with Jordan, one's mechanics-wise in the first play, one's just a missed read, trying to do too much, and then the third one right there, you're really pressing, trying to make a play. So no theme to these interceptions, but one thing is I have never seen Caleb Williams do that in his 2 years of college football so far, so I don't expect him to do it again today versus Utah, and the sky's not falling. Our offense is fine. We just got to start faster than we did last week.
Yeah, now as Max just mentioned, obviously this USC offense struggled last week and they struggled the week before, but how do we get back on track? Well, the main thing that you want to do is implement your playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, and one of those guys is wide receiver Zachariah Branch. Now, if we look at these clips, I love what Lincoln Riley does here with using Zachariah Branch, using him at running back. He's right there to the right side of Caleb, and as this ball snapped, you're going to notice that this is a jet sweep type of play. But what they're going to do here, instead of lining up Zachariah at receiver and bringing him in motion, this time they're just going to line up and run it out of the backfield. Great job by Jarrett Kingston pulling around, blocking that defensive end, and Jonah Monheim working up to the linebacker. Now, Caleb Williams is reading these linebackers. If they widen out, he knows he can pull it and go upfield, and that's the Adoree Jackson effect that we had when I was here. When you have Zachariah Branch in the backfield, everyone on the Notre Dame defense knows that they have to defend him. As he goes outside, this takes two Notre Dame defenders out of the play. Caleb Williams makes a great read and pulls it upfield. Now, this play was called back by a penalty. I may be a little biased. I don't know if I fully agree with it, but that's neither here nor there. So you think now we have a penalty, took back a touchdown, would have been a tie game. Now the momentum's gone. But again, we're going to use our playmakers to our advantage. We're going to put Zachariah Branch, the very next play, right there in the backfield. And this time, we're just going to run a straight-up handoff to him. As this play continues to run, you notice we're going to spread the Notre Dame defense out. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Notre Dame defenders inside the box against 5 USC offensive linemen. What does this look like? This created a punt return. This creates a kickoff return. We're just going to turn and give the ball to Zachariah Branch as this play continues to run and allow him to use his playmaking ability. Now watch this last part. This is where he is so dangerous and so good. You can't teach this. This is a high football IQ. He does a great job of setting up his block here for the offensive lineman. Starts to the right, puts his foot in the ground, and then cuts back left. You can't teach that as the play continues to go and finishes up. It's a huge explosive play. Should have been a 5-yard gain. Sets up his block, bounces to the left side, and picks up 17 and gets that momentum right back after the holding call. Now, obviously, Caleb Williams has struggled a little bit, and Max just showed that. But we need to take some of that pressure off of Caleb and use these playmakers, not just Zachariah Branch, but the rest of them. But I expect nothing less today, Jordan, than 10 to 12 touches for Branch in this football game.
That's just it, Cody. I mean, that's sort of our next segment is helping Caleb, because I just think that this schedule is too hard. We talked about all year. This league has gotten better, and it's just too good for him to go out there and be a one-man show and win games. They had to do that at times last year, but even last year it felt like there was a little bit more help. Where does that help need to come from, guys? Obviously, Zachariah sort of was the first person to put his hand up last week, but it's going to take more than two also.
Yeah, and I love Deion Bailey had a tweet during the game, right? Give the ball to number 0 and get the ball to number 1. Marshawn Lloyd has been a huge factor in the run game, and I love that play that Lincoln Riley called. Let's take the thinking out of it. Let's take away the pass game. It was a one jab step to the right, and we ran an option play with Caleb and Marshawn Lloyd. Allow Caleb to be a point guard, not having to think a whole lot, not even a zone read where he has 2 or 3 options with the RPO. One jab, go to the left. You can either pitch it or you can keep it and take off and run. An easy thinking or an easy thought process that takes away all of the difficulty in reading a defense, and we have an explosive play for a touchdown to Marshawn Lloyd. So continue to use those playmakers to your advantage and know that you don't have to do it all yourself.
You don't, and also, Max, I think you got to trust your defense, especially in a day like today. Maybe in the Washington game, you're going to have to put some pressure on yourself, thinking, "Hey, we need to score 45." I don't think it takes 45 to win today. And even those clips you showed, you're like, "Oh, he's under pressure, desperation." The score was 10-3, but I think that there's that sense of like, "Hey, we're an offense that scores. We're the second leading scoring offense in the nation. We got to get going. We got to get going." But if you look at the scoreboard, throw it away, punt. Just wait, see if something could happen. That might be the same game today.
If we give up 44 points to Utah in this game, we got bigger issues than just one side of the football. But I think bigger picture, you got to walk away from certain quarters where the defense won you that quarter, and getting out of this mold where it's always the offense picking up the defense. It feels like even when we're complimenting the defense, it's, they did good on this one drive. How about putting together a whole half? How about putting together a whole game where you're walking away saying, no, the defense was the bright spot in the game rather than the offensive skill players.
I like that energy. I like that.
I got you. Sue is all in on the offensive game plan this week. The defensive game plan is next, but first, let me tell you about hoop season. We had a crazy event this week, the Trojan Hoopla, where Brandon Gardner jumped over the Heisman quarterback, Caleb Williams. Some really cool stuff happened this week. And
Caleb Bullock with the slam.
Dude, Caleb Bullock has bounce, man. The shoes weren't even tied. Jeans. He's wearing a hoodie and just no stretch and still got up there easy. Very impressive for sure. But Galen's going off all season long. It starts in just a couple weeks. New era of USC basketball. Isaiah Collier today. They had a closed-door scrimmage that USC won against UNLV. Isaiah Collier went for 23 points, 4 of 4 from 3, 9 boards, 6 assists, 4 steals. He's going to be all right, guys. Come on out to Galen Center.
Closed-door scrimmage. You got the plug right here.
/tickets. I got all the info.
Hey, both teams inside the top 25 too. So are we
Let's go. All the teams. We're everything and everything school for sure. All right, defensive game plan is next. Sua and Sean. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Conchas, takis, we need horchata.
AMPM has horchata?
Yeah, let's get some.
Sabor that goes on and on and on. That's Cravenience.
Almost done.
AM/PM, too much good stuff.
Tungus!
May the right company turn any lake into a great lake. May true friendship be found in hard-to-reach places. May the toughest part of your day be deciding which arm to carry the cooler with. May you ditch malt-based hard seltzers for one with real vodka and real juice. And may high noon not just be a time of day, but the perfect way to enjoy it. High noon, sun's up.
Wow, EJ.
Goodness gracious. Blocked by USC.
Statement block. Wow, what a block by Fields.
Williams blasts the ball to the hard.
That's a big play. Wow. DTN.
Introducing Celaya Tequila, brought to you by USC football legends Matt and Ryan Khalil. Celebrate your story with a homegrown spirit. Celaya Tequila, beautiful USC campus, and of course the Coliseum as we sit here behind the end zone, getting you set for USC versus Utah, a game that could be a bit of a defensive slugfest today. We shall see. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI, and it's time now for our defensive game plan.
Everyone knows defense wins championships. And a Trojans victory will require a solid defensive game plan.
Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3. Defense!
This is the USC Trojans defensive game plan, brought to you by LifeLaw, injury law made simple.
Good news, ladies and gentlemen. We are in for a treat. The shortest defensive game plan you will get. I am all smiles. You can see the teeth. For my USC post-game haters, you're going to love this. I promise you. I'm a homer through and through today. Defense is built on passion, energy, attitude, and want to. And we got to see that last week from this defense. So I don't even have that many plays. I just have 2, and one of them's not even defense. So that just shows you how flabbergasted I was watching the film. They balled out on defense. Hats off. Hopefully we get a similar performance today. But let's pull up this one clip where I felt like we could have been better. I said it last week. We're not good enough to beat ourselves pre-snap. And right here, we have a corner blitz, and this is a little tricky because you kind of have inside help if you're Kalen from the safety position, but in all reality, if you're the nickel and corner, you're by yourself. So you don't want to line up 10 yards off, and you don't want to line up inside giving away, head up to outside, giving away that inside because you have nobody there to recover for you, nobody to refill that gap that's being left there. And we get caught in a call where our defense is moving to the boundary and a route gets away from us. Let us play. Again, pre-snap, you just got to have your feet set, looking at your receiver, eyes on your work. A better alignment would have been better for this route. Obviously, it was an ace in the hole for Notre Dame. They got the exact look they wanted and a deep play, a chunk play in a critical part of the game where I felt like the game was turning and the momentum was starting to go to USC. That's a play we can't give up. Now, this right here is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it's not even defense. This is special teams. This is fresh off a USC touchdown drive. The momentum is moving our way. Everybody's thinking the USC Trojans are on their way to a comeback. Let's get another 3 and out. Let's bring Caleb back out and let's get it going. But instead, we get 2 guys that overrun their leverage. We get 1 guy sitting in the middle, and obviously it's our kicker. We're not going to expect him to make the play. But you cannot give this up at this point of the game, at any point of the game. Kick returns carry so much weight, whether they're our opening kickoff or the last kickoff of the game. That right there was the nail in the coffin. It didn't matter how well the Trojans played on defense. When you gave that up, mixed with all the turnovers, there's not much you can do. But defense, I promise you, if you play like you played last week and hold a team to 250 yards total, we will win the rest of these games.
Yeah, great breakdown by Sua there. I'm going into this week's game. I don't want to talk about last week's game. I don't want to talk about Notre Dame anymore. I thought the defense, we've talked about it, they made steps in the right direction. But I think this week's game week's important. It's because you got to guard hash to hash. Some games, you got to go sideline to sideline, Max. When those offenses can rip it and that quarterback can throw those outs and he can take it, he can challenge you. This game, that's not the case. This quarterback, Bryson Barnes, he can't really make those kind of throws. He's not accurate in those outside throws. You got to be hash to hash. You got to cover those crossing tight ends. You got to cover the middle seams there. You got to cover and really it's going to bring the run game, whether it's wildcat, if we see Siani Vaki out there, you're going to have to cover that middle hash to hash. So I'm counting on guys like Baragzan and Keon Bars, Mason Cobb. Guys in the middle of that defense this week have to be huge because that's where Utah's going to attack. And if we can't stop that, Trojan defense will be in trouble. Got to take another step, Jordan, in the direction of good defense by playing this Utah team, which you should put up a good fight against.
No doubt about it. Utah has one of the best defenses in the country, so can't expect as a defense to have a huge number today. You're going to have to potentially win a lower scoring game. Special teams, that third phase of the game. So you showed the clip. It didn't feel like a one-off last week. It felt like it was coming. There were 2 before it where Notre Dame got great field position. Part of it was they were only kicking it to the 10. It was a cold night, and we get used to these games where they just booted through the end zone and take it to the 25. That didn't happen. All of a sudden they had to cover. What did you see on the whole from the kickoff coverage that wasn't quite right?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Shout out John Baxter.
I was going to say you're channeling your John Baxter.
Shout out
right
John
now.
Baxter, and I know how to say paradigm now. I said paradigm in front of the whole team, and it was so embarrassing and scarred. Anyways, yes. I played the one on kickoff, and it was because I was lazy and I didn't want to run full speed all the way down. So the one is the safety. So you're supposed to fall off at 35 yards and funnel back to where you think the ball is headed to replace any spilled gaps. Instead, both of our ones overshot their gaps and were the first people down, almost our second defender down, creating no gap leverage. So when you was able to cut back, our entire right side of our kickoff team was trying to replace what our safety player was supposed to be doing. And it's like on kickoff, it's like a domino effect. If one guy messes up, then 4 or 5 guys get messed up as well.
All right, we need all the kids in the house. Trojan fans, get excited. The Junior Trojan Kids Club package for the 2023-24 year has officially launched. Grab yours today at usctrojans.com/kidsclub. When we take a look, come up next, we will take a look at the impact matchup. There's a lot, as Sean said. It's time to look forward. We've got ourselves a great game today. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Personal injury suits can be scary and full of questions. How can I pay for it? If I've been in an accident, who fixes my car? Who pays my medical bills? And will it all be worth it in the end? LifeLaw simplifies the process, answering your questions and more by providing 24/7 support that's clear and precise, while offering the latest in technology to let you know where your case stands at all times. Good news. LifeLaw. Injury law.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Caleb Williams, quarterback, USC. What I like most about athletic is that I can worry about my body and still go out and socialize, have fun with friends, and feel fresh and focused still.
Wow, we're crunching tons of polygons here.
What's going on? Where's Regina?
Hi, I'm LaDonna. I invest in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like real-time CGI.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and more in the prospectus at Invesco.com.
In today's college athletics landscape, a strong name, image, and likeness program is an essential pillar to on-field success. House of Victory is an alumni-led nonprofit collective dedicated to providing a competitive edge in the NIL space. To join our alumni community and benefit student athletes, text HOV to 53555. DJ Malski getting the students and the fans fired up here as they slowly start to trickle into the Coliseum, getting you set for USC versus Utah in the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. It's time now for this week's Impact Matchup.
The Impact Matchup of the Week. Brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Explore with Invesco QQQ. Fight on.
Let's go!
And now the Impact Matchup of the Week.
Well, I'm taking a look, guys, at the passing game and USC's receivers going up against this Utah passing defense. And we talked about the Trojans not winning a ton on the outside against Arizona 2 weeks ago. I thought Notre Dame got really physical with the Trojan wideouts in the game last week. They drew some penalties early on, but overall on the day, Notre Dame certainly won that battle. And now we go into Utah, guys, just perennially one of the best passing defenses in the country. They do a great job developing defensive backs, in particular for the NFL. They've been putting them in and year out now. They've got a couple great safeties in this game. Cole Bishop, interestingly, will actually miss the first half of this one because of a much disputed targeting call in last week's game. And then Sione Vaki will see on both sides of the football. But this is a test for USC, guys. We talk about helping Caleb. He can't be back there looking at just a bunch of red shirts, and he may not have long because they have one of the best pass rushers in the country in Jonah Ellis.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jordan, that's part of the reason this defensive backfield looks so good is because they do a great job. Jonah Ellis, I think, leading the nation in sacks with 9 already on the season. He gets after it up front. The whole front four, they get after it, but definitely a great job on the back end. They understand what they're doing. A lot of zone this year is a little bit opposed to last year where they like to man up. You think of Utah and they want to man up. This year, a little more zone action, and they're really confusing guys back there. They've done a good job all year, and they've caught some good matchups. You play UCLA with a freshman quarterback. You play Baylor's offense who's strong. So these defensive numbers for Utah look great, but some of the matchups, they've had some favorable matchups so far. So I think they'll really be challenged today against USC. But these wide receivers, like you said, have to find a way to win more than they did last week against Notre Dame.
They have had some good matchups, but they've also been tasked with just flat-out winning games because they haven't gotten a lot of help. You talk about the UCLA game. They got a pick 6 early on in the game, which has become a Utah hallmark. They have a long streak of having a pick 6 every single year. They got one in the first possession against UCLA and just said, hold on, we're going to hold that 7 the rest of the game, and then basically did it.
Yeah, well, if you think Notre Dame's defense was tough, it's going to get a little tougher this week. This defense is probably the most athletic and bigger defense that we'll see. They have corners that can press, which our receivers kind of struggle with right now, and they can get after the quarterback with just 4. So USC is going to have to find a way to be creative and get the ball out of Caleb's hand. I don't think Utah's going to give us anything down the field. I think they're going to make us dink and dunk, and that's what we don't want to do, and that's what we're going to have to do today.
Just 12.2 points per game allowed on the season, Max.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with that safety position too. Sione Vaki, he's playing running back not because they want him to, because he has to. I mean, this team across the board has been decimated by injuries, which makes the defense all the more impressive because they've been able to roll into that 2 deep with the defensive line and not miss a beat. But offensively, they're thin, so keep your eye on Vaki, especially with Cole Bishop being out that first half. And yeah, from the defensive back position, last year they lost Clark Phillips III. They're all-everything corner. That was a big question for them going into this season. By all accounts, they've replaced well. But Jordan, you're spot on. They haven't seen an offense like USC's offense, but they have been tasks week after week to come in here and not only just, hey, play really well, but no defense. You need to win us the game. That's a tall task for Utah going into the Coliseum.
And in 3 healthy halves last year, Caleb Williams absolutely lit up this Utah defense too. So that is worth noting.
That's the Jordan Moore take right there. That's the Jordan Moore take.
Look at the numbers. Last I checked, throwing for 360 and 3 touchdowns is usually pretty good. If you're out there being like, oh, we stopped him, we held him to 360.
Yeah, no.
I get it. Take all the smoke, Jordan.
What he run for? He ran for 80.
We got to have a duel before pregame. Jordan Moore versus the Salt Lake City faithful. Just battling it out.
Leave the Twitter battles to me.
Getting the mentions. Hey, speaking of Twitter, Keely Yore joins us now from the USC sideline. I believe she has a question for us from the old Twitter X platform. What's going on, Keely? Beautiful day here at the Coliseum.
It's a beautiful, hot, and windy day today, but we got a question from the Victory Podcast listeners. It comes from Sacramento Pete, who said, who's responsible for setting a team identity? Is it coaches or players? So curious what you guys have to think there.
All day for me, it's coaches. Coaches, you find your guy, who your guy is, and you're going to lean on him. I mean, it plays out as you watch the team. You find the guy. Hey, this is the guy that the guys are following. He's my guy.
I mean, the head coach is going to anoint the captain, and hopefully your captain is the vocal leader that everybody looks to, because you don't want to be a captain that the coach chose, but then there's a captain in the locker room that the team chose. That's the worst.
I'm players all day. I think the identity is set by the players, the culture is set by the coaches, and I think my time at SC, all 4 of those years, it's a different year because you have a different captain, and especially that last year, which is a good reminder for this team, and we have Cam Smith coming on stage. The leaders on that team and responding after a 1-3 start, they set the identity there, and I think that's a challenge for the defense too of, is it Shane Lee? Is it Kalen Bullock? Who is it, the guy that's going to get these guys right?
And I like all your answers, guys, because the thing that annoys me is the identity word, and Sean, I rolled this last week, I knew this would come up, is that people think an identity is like, oh, they run the ball really well. That's just play calling.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think that's a team's identity. Utah's identity is power run because they can't throw it. Nope. It's not Lincoln Riley's job to run a certain set number of plays so he can create an offensive identity. He is out there going, we're going to pass it when that makes sense. We're going to run it when that makes sense. A team's identity, to me, speaks much more to physicality, mental toughness. What they're talking about, the longer it goes, the better we get. That's what they want their identity to be, a team that comes back from a loss and comes back and wins.
And I think there's somebody who said, too, about it's mid-October. The coaches can only say so much right now. To me, it's on the players to say, hey, enough's enough. It's on the players to be like, what's our season going to be? Is it going to be something where we're 4-2 and stumble into just an above-average bowl game? Or is this a season where you get back on track, you don't have a conference loss, you beat up on a team who beat you twice last year, and you draw a line in the sand? That to me is what this game's about.
I think that culture and identity are two different things. A culture of a team, you look at a team like Utah, they built a culture, they know what they kind of want to do. Identity switch from year to year. You find out what you're good at, what you can do, and this is the identity of the team this year. And USC hasn't found that, I think, offensively. They're waiting for that identity.
Yeah, they are top 10 nationally in passing, but it has gone quiet the last couple of weeks, which is, teams taking away what they do best is certainly will make you look like you don't necessarily have a clear picture on what you do well. We'll see if the Trojans can recapture that this week against Utah. After the break, we're going to take a closer look at the Utes. Maybe our last look at them for a while, which is too bad. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
It's been a phenomenal year. You go to New Year's Six Bowl, you have one of the best turnarounds in school and NCAA football history as a team. And the reality is we lost some games as a team too.
Stunned Trojan fans.
But that does not change that we're here right now. We know what we got to do. So if you get a chance to come along for the ride, I'd highly suggest it.
Trojan Tailgate Show team, assemble!
And that's why T Swift is a legend.
Hello and welcome to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI.
Sometimes faster isn't always better. Like when you're getting a tattoo. Or saying I love you on the first date. Or putting together certain Swedish furniture.
But when it comes to getting in and out of the airport, faster is always better. And at Ontario International Airport, you can have a stress-free experience from the curb to the gate. It's the least we can do.
Getting that perfect slice is satisfying, fulfilling, and rewarding too. But we don't do it for fun. We do it for fresh. Slice to order makes a sub above.
We got a warm one at the Coliseum. If you're feeling the heat, LADWP has rebates up to $225 on new air conditioners to help you beat the heat and save money. Back inside the Coliseum, it is really a picture-perfect Saturday afternoon. Will be a nice evening game. 5 o'clock is the choice kickoff time, in my humble opinion. Back in the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Max Brown. And it's time for the scouting report in the Utah Utes.
It's time for the Scouting Report, brought to you by Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics. Now, we're going to help you get to know today's opposing team.
I thought I was being sarcastic that I was upset we weren't going to see Utah going forward. I wasn't. I really enjoyed these games. They have seemingly all come down to the end. USC's had a tough time winning in Salt Lake City. It's a great atmosphere there. We've had some great games here. Utah's had a tough time winning here. They've won just once in the Coliseum in the last 100 years. And Kyle Whittingham, it's nice sort of having a coach that you battle with. year in and year out. He's always there. It's always the same kind of program. I like that, and I respect what they do.
Yeah, do a good job. And unfortunately, they're without their quarterback, Cam Rising, who got the best of the Trojans last year for 2 games. So after suffering that injury last year, hasn't been able to come back on the field. And that's where their offense is kind of stalled for me. They don't have that playmaker and Cam Rising to do everything. They've struggled at quarterback. They've had Nate Johnson in there at the start of the season trying to run that zone read and getting him out and running the ball. Really didn't work for them. So they've gone with Bryson Barnes. Last game against Cal, he was successful in kind of managing the game for them and getting Sione Vaki in the backfield in that Wildcat, letting him run the ball. And I think that's kind of where this offense is going to be this year. If that's where they're stuck with Bryson Shaw, it's going to be that style of offense where they're just going to pound the rock. They're not going to ask them to do much, just kind of manage the game and trying to find a couple scores on offense so their defense can get back out there.
So they clearly surprised Cal going heavy with the Wildcat last week. Sione Vaki is their leading tackler on the season. This is a defensive player, leading tackler. He ran for 158 and 2 touchdowns last week. We will see that package today. We will see it a lot if we can't stop it. How do you stop it?
Well, you got to have gap integrity. You got to win up front, and I think it's going to be on our nose. Our 3 technique and our ends, our front 4 guys are going to have to win and set those gaps and make it a clear picture for our young linebackers so that they can move around, because the Wildcat just wants guys on the same level, because once I can get you to trip or be a little bit late to your gap, that's a 5-yard gain if I fall forward. So we have to make sure we're being real disciplined in our gap integrity.
Dalton Kincaid plays for the Buffalo Bills, thank God. But Utah, as you mentioned, still has some weapons. What do you see from the Utes on the outside?
Yeah, it's been one of the weirdest things this college football season with Brent Keithy also not being back. I mean, even before Dalton Kincaid popped off last season, Keithy was the best tight end, I would say, in the conference.
I remember Sean and Pete saying, Brent Keithy, he's out. No, you don't have to worry about Kincaid. Keithy's the weapon. Huge break. Don't worry.
Little did we know we had a first-round tight end on our hands.
Pregame show in Salt Lake City. We can run that tape later. Go ahead, man.
But no, I say that because he's still on this roster. But again, he's a guy with a season-ending injury that got hurt last year that still hasn't played. So Utah, yes, it's the same identity, but without Rising and without Keithy, it's an offense that doesn't have an elite passing attack, and it's also an offense that hasn't unlocked the tight end position, which you're used to seeing from Ute fans. And then receiver-wise, they got a familiar last name for USC fans. Michael Pittman's younger brother, Micah Pittman. Money Parks is a little gadget guy on the outside, but no one receiver-wise that really threatens you. Offensive line, they're really good up front, but there's only so much you can do offensive line-wise when teams are packing the box. So it'll be interesting to see who they go with quarterback-wise. It feels like Bryson Barnes is less volatile, and they feel like they know what to expect with him. His ceiling might not be as high, but the worst-case scenario in terms of turnovers isn't as low. But Nate Johnson is a little bit more mobile. I thought he was getting a little bit better early on in October, but it seems like Bryson Barnes is the guy. But technically, they still Cam Rising still technically a week-to-week decision.
Yeah, he came out. I saw him, but I don't think he warmed up. We'll get a report from Keeley here in a little bit. Pete Thamel reported that Bryson Barnes is expected to start today. Sean, defensively, we talked about him a bunch in the last segment, but Jonah Ellis, the son of Lions legend Luther Ellis, he's sort of their Tuli Pelotu from last year. He's got numbers. Oh, he can rush too. It was fun watching him breaking his film down. They get him out there on that edge, the right edge, go against that left tackle. That'll be a great matchup with him and Jonah Monheim today. But they got 2 big war daddies usually in the middle, over 300 pounds. They're going to sit those guys on your guards. They're going to let those edge rush, but they're so good, I think, on every level of the defense. The linebackers fly around, they can make plays, and then on the back end, we've already talked about Sione Vaki, but Cole Bishop, who's going to be a big loss for them in the first half, he's a heck of a player too. So on every level, they got guys that make plays and seem to have just control of games. That when they're out there playing good defense, it starts with their pass rush. They get a good job stopping teams offensively. All right, our Cardinal Gold Report is up next. We're going to do a little Trojan triage. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
I'm getting...
Our idea of the perfect day? You, your best friend.
Yeah, buddy. You ready to run?
And Quattro all-wheel drive. Own the elements in the Audi Q5.
Let's go, buddy.
Smart Stop Self-Storage has state-of-the-art security systems operating 24 hours a day. So we see everything. Everything.
May today be a day for golf. Or at least for getting outside. May your ball always be easy to find. Oh, look, there it is. May the friends you choose and the hard seltzer you choose make up for the club you chose. And may one round for the ages lead to another. High noon. Sun's up.
Trojan fans, did you know the Ralphs app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too? Check out the app today and save while you cheer us on to another great season. Ralphs, proud partner of USC Athletics, and no one gets you closer to college football than SiriusXM. Download the SiriusXM app and take your USC Trojans with you all season long. Tune in to SiriusXM Pac-12 Radio for news, analysis, and more. Straight from your phone, no car required. Back inside the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, celebrating its 100th anniversary. I am Jordan Moore with Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown. It's time now for our Cardinal and Gold Report.
It's time for the Cardinal and Gold Report.
Cardinal and Gold!
Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC football.
All right, guys, I'm calling this Trojan Triage, and we got, there's one rule, all right? Triage is about treating what you can treat right now. The answer can't be, oh, you got to get in the portal and sign, this guy and this guy. It can't be, oh, you got to get 5-star freshmen and develop them. No, that's not the answer. You got what you got, and you got the USC offense where you're at right now. Max, why don't you kick us off with the offense? What can be fixed right now in the middle of the season to get them to maximize over the final month or so?
I don't know if Lincoln does do this, but this would be my section. In the bottom right-hand corner of your play call sheet, there needs to be a Zachariah Branch section, and there needs to be a quota that you got to hit offensively in terms of the touches that you need to get. It feels like if you get the ball in his hands, not only does he have the ability to change the momentum of this game, but he's just so explosive and so active, and I feel like when the defense focuses on him, on number one, it opens up the other receivers. I think pressing Dorian Singer to really settle into a role, that's not the best way to do it. Let that happen naturally by way of getting the other receivers involved as well.
They do really spread it out offensively, guys. You paring that down, we talked about it maybe some of the earlier part of the season. Is that an answer for you?
Yeah, I think it's got to be know what you're doing, go out there, exit the huddle, and everyone knows their job. Because I think when I watch the offense, I see small mistakes at every spot, and it's not on the same play. It's one guy here, it's one guy here. It's not being on the same page. So if you got to trim it back a little bit and make sure you know what everyone's doing. Because sometimes I just feel like, this guy's not on the same page. This guy's not on the same page. I want everyone to know what they're doing, know your responsibility, and execute.
All right, so let's triage this defense. What can you fix right now? Obviously, they have made some improvements over the last couple weeks.
I think if we can trust our DBs, and I don't know if we already do it, but if we can trust our DBs, we go with a little dime package for a guy that we can keep on the field through the first two rundowns and stay on the field for third down, or if they're just going on the ball, because we're going to have to face that against Washington. We're going to have to face that against Oregon. So let's get a guy who's a tweener. Now, I know they said they didn't like those type of guys when they first got here, but let's get a guy that's a tweener who can stay on the field for all three downs and get pressure on the quarterback if we want to send 5 instead of putting additional linemen in there.
Spoken by one of the great tweeners of all time.
Big tweener guy.
Yeah.
I think overall it's going to be how they respond. It's going to be mentality and response for me today. I'm going to be watching how these guys come out. Obviously, you got beat down last week against your rival on the road. You're coming back home. How do you respond as a team? It's going to be interesting to watch those trenches, but I want to see a mad team, Jordan. I want to see someone play with some aggression, some anger out there. It looked last week that they got hit a little bit, and they kind of didn't know how to handle it. I want to see a team, you get hit, you keep coming, you keep smacked, take a bad play, next play mentality. It's just I haven't seen that aggression on this team that I'm pissed off kind of play from this team yet where I think they should be.
Special teams, Max. Lincoln Riley had to answer all week why he doesn't have a special teams coach. He gave us a long answer on Trojans Live. You can agree with it or not agree with it. People didn't really love John Baxter when he was here as a dedicated special teams. What they like is every play working. How do you make it better on special teams?
You are what you emphasize, and I think after a week where you got burned special teams-wise, I hope the mold in those meetings was, hey, we got to get right. It can't be a weakness. It doesn't have to necessarily be a strength of your team. Obviously, that would be ideal, but if the strength of this team is going to be offense and you're trying to get this defense right, the special teams just can't be a weakness, so it's on those guys, especially the guys that are reserves dudes, where that's their sole reps, that's all they're putting on film. Those guys got to lock in and make sure those are the most important reps.
Or we can just kick it into the end zone and punt it out of bounds.
Yeah,
we can just do those two things
coverage
as well. Yeah.
I think you throw some dudes out there too. Sometimes you just can't use the reserve guys. Sometimes you got to have your dudes out there. I know.
I don't like you as a coach. I don't like you.
That's what happens when
get out there and cover a kick. We need a tackle here, buddy.
Self-proclaimed lazy on kickoff, though. That's the risk you run.
Yeah.
Just throwing up the remaining schedule today feels like such a pivot point in the season for me. So if they can get it fixed today and find a way across the finish line to get that win, it opens up next week with a chance to take on Cal. It is on the road, 1 o'clock kick. A very winnable game, though, on the road. If you can get that done, really your season then comes down to the final quarter, and you've got some awesome showdowns, and you're sitting there with everything to play for. You wouldn't have a single conference loss going into it. Number 5 Washington, incredible quarterback in Michael Penix, top 10 Oregon team up in Autzen, and then a great rivalry game to end. So if they can get it done today, they set themselves up for that final quarter of the season to be as special as certainly we had hoped for. One thing we know is this team's always going to look good entering the building. It's time to rate that drip.
Your Trojans are in the building.
Caleb, over here, Caleb.
And it's time to rate that drip. Presented by Zern Elkay.
Oh, it starts with the kicker, I think, here. Dennis Lynch. They didn't throw it up on our board here, so we are shooting the black. There he is. There's Dennis Lynch. He's always...
Is that a guy YETI button-up?
Last year, he said he got his outfits just by Googling cool outfits for guys.
Ed Orgeron would pass out seeing that.
Shout out Snoop.
That is Marshawn Lloyd right there, looking to have a big day. Oh, yeah, baby blue. Ed Orgeron would not like that.
Ooh, that's clean.
That's Zion Branch, potentially a big opportunity for Zion.
Happy belated,
today.
Zion. Happy belated.
I like that. That's swaggy.
You send him a birthday present soon?
No, I did not.
That?
We are not close like that.
That's Brendan Rice.
Is he wearing a shirt of himself?
That's a little narcissistic
cool.
right there. That's a little narcissistic.
Cool. That is the move.
Now,
right
if I would have did it, you wouldn't say it was cool.
Got his favorite. Oh, there's Sua.
Looking tough.
I received so much hate from the student body at Vista for this photo shoot. They're like, Sua gets pulled out of class again, Mr. Special 5-star guy.
Wait, so you had your own photo shoot?
Me and the quarterback. Me, quarterback, and 2 other players. We were the number 1 team in Cali that year. They pulled us out.
Speaking of the quarterback.
And the
mini pro right there.
Hey, your jerseys, you had some wet jerseys back there.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Those are fire.
I don't know. The numbers seem a little small for me.
Jordan, get out.
I'm just saying the 4 digits seems small.
Did you beat Bellevue?
That's because Max is so tremendous.
That's what it is.
Because I'm so yoked.
Yeah, you should have gone with a double number there just because for your chest.
Me and Max, same class. He was the player of the year, number 1, all everything.
Something like that. That's
He's the reason I cried at the award shows because they're like, no, sorry, it's going to the quarterback.
Do you remember the special photo shoot that I set up for you guys spring of your freshman year? We play next
hard.
On the JNC stairs.
I was going to say on the stairs, right? The gray T-shirts.
We play next. That was these 2 and a bunch
the highest
of other
star
guys.
ranking class ever in that photo.
Yeah.
Didn't really do much.
And we had like 7 5-stars decommitted.
They're telling us to go to break because they're tired of you guys talking about yourselves. So, hey, we're going to talk about another great USC player, Cameron Smith. Our tunnel captain's in the house. He's next on Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI.
Rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, where you can be an impact player, a clutch hitter, or a wild card. No matter what your game is, the excitement and relaxation you're looking for is here. So get back to the fun and play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. You clock in for happy hours and holidays, late nights, and regulars. When others go to play, you go to work. Because you don't just carry kegs, you carry the night. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Today,
A strong NIL program is essential to long-term success. Introducing House of Victory, a nonprofit, alumni-led, name, image, and likeness collective. As a proud NIL sponsor of the USC Trojans, we're dedicated to providing student-athletes NIL opportunities and resources.
Supporters can honor the tradition of victory by ensuring success in our future.
Victory is in the fabric of everything USC. Welcome into the House of Victory.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Live on the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown. And we got the captain, Cameron Smith, in the house. Joining us live here on the Coliseum video board as well. Scan that QR code to watch the show and listen to. We talk about this sort of mini rivalry over the last decade. If there's somebody that had the signature performance in it, it was you, Cam. Your freshman year, 3 interceptions. I was just watching them this morning. Gus Johnson going off. I'm sure you can remember that day like it was yesterday.
Like it was yesterday. It felt. I mean, it's kind of it's coming out a lot more with this game. I feel like it does each year, but it feels to think it was 2015 is kind of crazy. And 8 years ago, we're coming up on the actual reunion, so it's kind of cool. But I'm happy to be here.
You had 4 interceptions in your career, all against Utah.
All against Utah.
Something about Utah.
Yep, I'm hoping to make eye contact with Kyle Whittingham when I run out of here.
There we go.
What was that like when you were going through it? Obviously, you get the first one. You're a freshman. I got the first one. But as the game goes on and you start collecting in there, Sua's on the field. What's going on in that field? What are you guys talking about?
I was hating on him. I'm like, oh my God.
You got wrecked on the second one. Oh man, the first one was good because I think we were kind of in the groove of the season and everything, and so I think just like any young kid coming out of high school, you get your hands on a lot of footballs on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm like, man, I haven't had one yet, and so getting one, and then the second one was like, man.
Why are you bringing up that I got smashed?
You got smashed.
I try to throw a block for this dude because he's running like a 5-3 to the end zone, and I get completely just.
He got the pick.
I was a little heavier back then, all right. So don't hold it to me. You get free food around here, and you just eat it. That's how it goes.
When you play in the Pac-12, so many of the teams are passing teams, but then when you play Notre Dame and Utah, those are Cam Smith games. Those are games that are physical. You have to put on a different mindset. What was it about those games that you really loved?
I think you think of Notre Dame, you think of Stanford, you think of Utah, and they're playing. Not to call it real football, but
in between the hashes.
They're running the football, and I don't know. There's something about it, like I think. It just speaks my language. It just came to me, and I don't know what it was that game, but it felt right. I remember Gavin walking up to me in the sideline or in the locker room, and he's like, this is your time. Like make some plays. Let's show you who you are. And so it just something clicked that day, and it was somebody was watching out over us, so it was fun.
As I love to mention and have said a million times, I was a 5-star. Max was a 5-star as well. You were a 5-star, and I would say that all of us have different perspectives and stories to tell when it comes to the pressure that we faced at having to play and make an impact early. What was that like for you?
I don't know. It just, I think you again, coming out of high school, I just felt like, at the time I committed to a staff that I felt very comfortable with. Peter Sermon was here, and I felt very comfortable with him, and he put a lot of confidence in me. And I
12-21.
That's I think man. For whatever it was, I think throughout my career, even into the NFL, I think you see a difference when confidence isn't pushed inside of you by your staff or by the coaches, whoever it may be. And if you lack a little confidence, you can definitely see it on the field. And I think coming out just young and naive, like just being a high school kid, I wanted to come here and make an impact. And so for whatever reason it was, just overall, it just felt right. Felt like I was supposed to be on the field. Felt like I was supposed to, I was comfortable playing with some of the guys. Like coming in here watching Sua growing up, like when I was growing up, watching his highlights and stuff, and being like, I was never really starstruck. I was more like, I'm excited to play with them. And I think that was a big part for me. It just felt comfortable. It felt confident. It felt like it was my role, my position to lose. And I think I got being here as an early enrollee, just everything clicked for me for that season. And it was fun.
Cam, we've talked a ton about tackling this season. You were a great tackler. What do you think makes a great tackler?
Oh, I think hat and hands. I mean, I think it's it's part of keeping. I was never really the biggest hitter. I think that some people, they push. They want those big highlights, and for me, it was always I'm gonna catch you, and I'm gonna use my hands, and I'm gonna hold on. And I think I was just never really the guy that wanted to come in and lay the hit, because I mean, you can't do that today, right? Like you're getting a flag thrown, you're probably gonna miss half the game. Or you could be injured. So for me, I just felt I wrestled growing up as a kid, and that leverage that I just felt like. Again, I wasn't going to make the biggest hit, but I was going to stand in there and I was going to drive him backwards. And so I think people really start using their shoulder a lot more and stop. They stopped using their hands and really grabbing on. Like you look at some old football players and their hands are screwed up, and that's how it's supposed to be, right?
Show us your hands, Sean.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So I think that's what, in the end, I think you see somebody's hands and you can tell how good of a football player they were.
Yeah, well, usually Cam's going to lead the team out of the tunnel today. Usually I worry about people. I worry about stretching. You look like you're in great shape, man. I'm not worried about you today. You look like you could suit up and give us a couple quarters today. Have fun with it. Welcome back to the Coliseum. It's great to see you. Get this joint fired up today. It's your game, USC versus Utah. Cam Smith, a hero of this matchup and a great captain linebacker here at USC. Stay with us again. We have an interview with Lincoln Riley coming up. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI.
Conchas, takis, we need horchata.
AM/PM has horchata?
Yeah, let's get some.
Sabor that goes on and on and on. That's Cravenience.
Almost done.
AM/PM, too much good stuff.
Tungus!
It's time for the Student Veteran Interview, brought to you by IBEW 11, NECA, and Pipe Trades. Together, these groups proudly support USC. Fight on!
Time for this week's Student Vet Interview, and I've got Luis De Leon, who served in the U.S. Marine Corps. You had a fascinating job, Luis. Tell us about it.
So I was an aviation electrician while I was a Marine. So I basically worked on the flight line, and I worked on Harrier parts, basically fighter jets. I had pop and swap and fix parts on the jet.
All right, and now you are at the Viterbi School, getting a degree in electrical and computer engineering. You're too smart for me, man. What's your plan? What's your plan for this degree?
Correct. So I am currently a senior getting my electrical and computer engineering degree, and hopefully looking to get into my PDP program to get my master's in engineering management. And thankfully, I have a full-time offer to work at a defense company, so that's my plan right after graduation.
Amazing. Well, you are a USC student, so we've got ourselves a huge game today, USC versus Utah. What's your pick, man? The Trojans going to get it done?
Oh, always Trojans, hopefully 35-21. If our defense can hold it down for us, but it's going to be a tight game.
I like that. I like that score for sure. Luis De Leon, thank you so much for your service, and have a great day today. Fight on.
Thank you for having me. Fight on.
Want the inside scoop on this game and all things Trojans? Be sure to sign up for the 3 Torches presented by Smart & Final. It's a free newsletter that'll hit your email inbox 3 times a week with game info, player insights, and more. Go to usctrojans.com/3torches and sign up. Back on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Students in the building on a sunny late afternoon here in Los Angeles. I actually got to talk to Coach this week, guys. I was going to say, Keely, you're here, but we had a little bit of a scheduling mix-up, a bit of a video issue. So here comes the Prescription to Win interview with Lincoln Riley and Jordan Moore.
Who's going to teach you how to play football?
My football coach.
Let's go!
This is your Prescription to Win. Brought to you by USC Pharmacy, proud partner of USC Athletics. USC Pharmacy is operated by the USC Man School. Learn more at uscpharmacies.usc.edu. And now, here is head coach Lincoln Riley.
Time for our Prescription to Win coaches interviews. Jordan Moore here on pinch hitting this time for Keely Eure. Happy to be with the head coach, Lincoln Riley. Appreciate you taking the time, Coach. No time to waste. Coming off a tough night in South Bend, but you've had a full week of practice with your team and enter a big game with Utah today. How do you feel like your team responded this week?
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. I think they responded really well. They were, even in the locker room after the game, guys were obviously disappointed, but very, very determined to get back on track, understanding the opportunity that we have being undefeated in the best conference in college football right now. And that's a pretty good place to be in, and a great opportunity here at home against a Utah squad and program that we obviously know very well and have a lot of respect for what they've done and the job that they do. So we know it's going to be a great challenge. It is a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. And our guys have been excited, have prepared hard, and really looking forward to playing.
What are the areas when you watch that Notre Dame film with the guys where you said, hey, guys, this is us, this is all correctable stuff?
Turnover. That is a totally different game. Without the turnovers, when you hold the team under 270 yards of offense and did what we did defensively, you have some of the explosive special teams plays that we had in the punt game and the punt return game. That there was so many things. There were some bright moments offensively, but when you lose a turnover battle 5-0, like you render all that not essentially meaningless in terms of the outcome of the game. And that's obviously very correctable. It's something in our time here at USC that has been an absolute strength of ours, is winning the turnover battle, doing a good job of that on both sides of the ball. I think we would have been in a great position to win that football game and win it, I think, convincingly without that. But you can't do it without it, right? You got to go make those plays. You got to go avoid those mistakes. And so very, very correctable and something that I think I think the guys have really taken to heart, and they understand how important that is to win in the rest of these games.
Utah is not an old rival of USC like a Notre Dame, but really the best games over the last decade in this conference for USC have really been with Utah, and you were a part of two of them last year. What do they do so well, and what do you need to do well to beat them?
Well, you could just tell that they've got a culture and a program that's very established, and you see it on all levels of their team. You could tell they've been able to recruit to what they want to do on offense, defense, and special teams for a long time. They got a lot of coaches that have been in place for a long, long time, and you kind of feel the continuity of the entire program when you play these guys and you watch them play. And that makes a difference. I mean, it makes a huge difference. And they've done a great job of that. They typically don't beat themselves, play very good complementary football. So they force you to play really good on both sides. That's what good teams do. And, yeah, like you said, we had two great battles with them last year that kind of came right down to the wire, and we're looking forward to getting another crack.
Yeah, we're looking forward to watching it. Thank you, Coach. Good luck today. Utah, a ranked team inside the Coliseum, a great opportunity for the USC Trojans. That is your Prescription to Win coach's interview with the head coach, Lincoln Riley. And now we're back live inside the Coliseum, and we've got Keely Eure standing by on the sidelines. We talked about it earlier, Keely, but can you confirm that Cameron Rising is a no-go for Utah quarterback today?
Yes, he's standing in front of me watching both Utah quarterbacks warm up and street close. So he is out for today as expected. So no trickeration there, Jordan.
Yeah, I think we might see some trickeration from the Utah offense today trying to get their passing game started. But the USC defense is going to have to be aware of that. And looks like they'll have to do it without Max Williams. Zion Branch, both the coaches talked about him earlier this week as a guy who could step up and have a bigger role. We saw him more at Notre Dame. What do you think about the prospects of a breakout day for the other Branch?
Yeah, I mean, we heard Lincoln Riley sing Branch's praises, both Branches, but Zion Branch's praises this week. He listed Zion as one of USC's best and most talented defensive backs and said he'll have a major role going forward. So that's definitely something to watch for going forward. But also, we did see Bryson Shaw warm up today as well. That was the guy who didn't finish the Notre Dame game. So USC does, I would expect a rotation between Bryson Shaw and Zion tonight.
Zion Branch, I think a guy that a lot of people are excited about playing back there in the safety position. He certainly looks the part. You have high expectations for him.
Yeah, and Zion actually reached out to me personally a week or two ago and says he wants to be better and was picking my mind on things. So we plan on working with each other in this offseason to get a little better. So I'm sure he has the hunger and desire to be out on this field. You know, that injury kind of knocked him off where he wanted to be, but he's back, he's healthy, he's getting into game shape, and I'm excited to see him play.
Yeah, looking forward to it today. I'm really looking forward to the best in game picks, guys. That's next, our final segment of the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI. Coming up.
I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere, and there's no place I'd rather be. I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere, and time don't matter to me, 'cause I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
One final segment of the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI with Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown. I am Jordan Moore. It's been our pleasure getting you set for a huge battle this evening. USC versus Utah, two top 20 teams, two teams near the top of the Pac-12 standings. A matchup that's produced some fantastic games over the course of the last decade. The reigning, back-to-back reigning champs in Utah in the house. A chance for USC to win a game against a ranked conference opponent in this building, which it has not done in 5 years. So all things on the table, but nothing more important than our best in the game picks.
The best in the game is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
Well, Sean continues to lead. Sua used his Caleb Williams card last week. There are no winners when
What a
the
week to
team
use it.
loses, though.
So
Max,
dumb.
Look at Max.
What a week to use it. Really
That's like 2 L's right there.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic. Well, let's see who Keeley has this week. We can get our board up here and find out who the picks are for Utah. And for this one, Keeley went with what's that say? Christian Roland Wallace off a game certainly where he would have been the winner last week if USC had won the game. A big opportunity you guys set for him today because Utah profiles big, similar to Notre Dame in the skill spots. Christian Roland Wallace played well against the tight ends last week. All right, Max, what do you got this week?
We're going with Kalen Bullock. Cody and I used a lot of offensive players. This is going to be a defensive game, or an opportunity for the defense to really take advantage of a poor Utah offense. And I feel like it's one of those games where defensive line, linebackers, they're going to step up the box, and it's going to be on the DBs to come up with some tackles, looking for Kalen Bullock to be active. Also in the play-action game, they're going to be targeting him. He needs to come up with a big game.
Sue, who are you jinxing this week? I mean, taking this week.
This is what I mean, man. Like, you can't say that. That's like saying the Y word right before you tee off.
Now he's going to win. So who's going to win?
Hey, he has won twice. I have won 0 times. So who am I to talk?
Yeah, maybe, lions don't listen to sheep, as Caleb would
right.
say. I'm going to go Brendan Rice because, he had a few drops last week.
Brendan.
And I feel like he's on a mission to prove to you guys he is the true number one. And that will never happen again. And he's going to have 2 touchdowns, and that'll be enough to get the player of the game.
I mean, he wore a shirt of himself to the game.
Narcissism, and I like it.
Sean?
I'm going defense because I think Utah's offense is struggling. I think a guy who can make them struggle even more, Mason Cobb, on the linebacker, number 13, going to run around, make some plays. If I had to go an offensive guy, this is my side pick. I'm going to go Taj Washington on the side. Just a little parlay on the side for Sean Cody.
Well, mine was easy, guys. This is a bounce-back week for the Trojans, but this is the week for the Heisman winner coming off his worst game. There is no doubt.
Rolling out against one of the best defenses. I don't know.
If you think I'm annoyed that Utah shut Caleb down last year, imagine what 13 feels.
Double down, Jordan.
Are you kidding me?
This is it, Sua. 13's on the ladder after the game. There won't even be a vote.
I'm not even going to say
Caleb tonight.
I'm not going to say what Jordan said to me when I picked Caleb last week. But wow, if I had known this,
you were wrong.
Yeah, the Utes have shut down Caleb the past 2 times.
Oh yeah, totally shut him down. They're going to shut him down again and go holding to 353 touchdowns. He's going to walk away and win this thing easily. All right, this is a game we've been waiting for all season. We have to wait no longer. It's time to throw it up to Pete and Sean. Thank you to Drew DeHart, Ben Conroy, Gia Lares, Rick Cutler, and Art Webb, and the crew with Daniel Zerunian. It is time now. USC versus Utah. It's next on the USC Trojans Media Network.
That's the final whistle on the tailgate. Hope you paced yourself.
Not pacing myself at all. I'm going out there trying to kill.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the video board for an important announcement about stadium emergency procedures. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you may be directed or required to evacuate. Please follow instructions and proceed in an orderly fashion to the nearest exit. Please note that this exit may be either above or below your seating location. If the nearest exit is below your seat location and is the field itself, you should proceed on to the Coliseum field and exit through either the Coliseum tunnel to the west or the peristyle end to the east. The peristyle steps are available for emergency exiting. If the closest exit is above your seating location, please proceed to the nearest exit tunnel. If exiting through one of the upper tunnels, please then access the nearest staircase to street level. Do not walk along the upper concourse. Once outside the seating area, vacate the Coliseum immediately via the nearest gate. Guests seated in the 200 and 300 levels of the Scholarship Club Tower will locate emergency exit stairs at each end and center of the building. Please exit to the concourse level and immediately proceed outside to the nearest gate. Guests seated on the 400, 500, 600, and 700 levels of the Scholarship Club Tower access emergency exit stairs at each end of the building and proceed to the upper concourse. Please then access the nearest staircase to street level and exit the nearest gate. Please proceed as directed in a calm, orderly fashion. We thank you for your attention.
California, the Golden State, a land of opportunity, where dreams become a reality. And among those who dare to chase their dream, there is a beacon of triumph. A land of opportunity, a legacy of champions, While the world is ever changing, one thing remains true. The best in California. Stay in California.
Respect all fans in attendance. For immediate assistance during the game, please speak with the closest usher or security personnel. To report any incidents of fan misconduct, please call the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum Fan Behavior Hotline. That number is 213-263-4007. Or you can text Coliseum with your seat location and a description of the situation to 213-263-4007. Once again, that number is 213-263-4007. We thank you for your cooperation and hope you enjoy the game. Hey fans, be sure to sign into the USC network Fight On for faster service. And fans, snap a selfie and tag it with hashtag USC Selfie, and you just might see yourself up on the video board during tonight's game. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at USC_athletics.
I need some energy right now.
And now, let's take it down to our DJ booth as it's time to feed the beast with Monster Energy and DJ Mosky.
Trojan fans, what's up? Who's ready to get the win tonight? We need you guys loud and proud. If we ever needed you before, we need you tonight. So real quick, let me hear a real loud fight on. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to fight on tonight. So make sure you're loud and proud. I'll be here or in my Monster Energy drink DJ booth right over there. All right, now we're going to cut to a section right quick. You're going to see this code right there. Scan that code and your cell phone is going to become the camera. So scan that code and your cell phone is gonna become the camera. We wanna put you on the camera right now. It's time for our Fan C with your boy DJ Mosky. Oh, we're gonna have some fun today. All right, let's throw some up here. Make sure you turn it up with us. Oh no, if you're doing the fancy, we need you dancing and we need you live. Here we go.
Fans attending Pac-12 athletic events, including competitions and ancillary activities, are expected to act in line with the conference's value-based goals, including
protecting the well-being of student athletes, promoting a culture of diversity, equity, belonging, and inclusivity,
and adhering to the highest standards of ethical conduct and sportsmanship.
Thanks, fans. Now let's all enjoy the game.
Fight on.
This season will be like no other, and the conference that exemplifies champions marks a legacy moment in the city that defines extraordinary. The 2023 Pac-12 Football Championship Game, Friday, December 1st. The top 2 teams in the conference leave it all on the field, live at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Secure your seat now. Visit pac-12.com/tickets today.
What's up, Trojan fans? It's Austin Jones. Welcome to the Coliseum. Fight on.
Hi, Trojan fans. It's Jared Kingston. Welcome to the Coliseum. Be sure to cheer us on today. Fight on.
Hey, Trojan fans. This is Kalen Bullock. Welcome to the Coliseum. Fight on.
Hey, Trojan family. It's Caleb Williams. Welcome to the Coliseum. Cheer loud. Enjoy your game. Fight on.
Hey, Trojan family. It's Tyrone Taleni. Welcome to the Coliseum. Fight on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United Airlines field at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for tonight's matchup featuring the visiting Utah Utes and the home team, your University of Southern California Trojans, home of 135 national championships. We hope you enjoy the entire game day experience this evening, and we remind you to follow the Trojan Spirit Code by showing respect for all fans in attendance. Thank you, and fight on.
Head Coach Lakin Riley for your Prescription to Win interview. Coach, what did you see from your team this week? How did they respond to adversity?
Just forward focus. We put ourselves in a great opportunity. We're undefeated in what probably is the best conference in college football right now. Playing a great program here in Utah today. It's a tremendous opportunity for us, and we're looking forward to capitalizing.
You mentioned that this team is undefeated in conference play. How do you keep that going tonight?
Well, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to push through the different ups and downs of the seasons. That's what champions do, and we've got a tremendous opportunity in front of us. We need to get this place rocking tonight. Great to be back in the Collar.
Good luck. Thank you.
USC has been at the epicenter of every college football conversation. Spotlight's bright in LA, just the way it is.
It is winning, it is success, it is the excellence of this university. World champions, Super Bowl champions, national championships.
It's a history. You can go by position.
It's their success at the collegiate level, number one. 11 national championships.
It's USC, like one of the biggest brands, not just in college football, in all of sports in general.
USC can be, has been, and I fully believe will be again. When this program is rolling, when it's operating at a high level, I really believe there's none like it in the country.
Touchdown! The Liner touchdown!
Carson Palmer.
Picked off by Polamalu. Oh, USC tonight, they're the national champions.
Members of the Trojan family, presenting the Spirit of Troy, the University of Southern California Trojan Marching Band. Band, take the field. With drum major Jacobo Herrera, twirler Emily Tutnick, and the SC Silks. Featuring the world-famous USC song girls and spirit leaders, here is our double platinum hit with Fleetwood Mac, Tusk. To honor our great nation and those serving in the armed forces, will you please rise and remove your caps for the presentation of the colors by the University of Southern California ROTC Color Guards. Joining the color guard on the field is a representative of the SoCal Pipe Trades, CPMCA, and IBEW NECA of LA County, proud supporters of USC athletics and our military veterans. Today we honor this week's student veteran of the game, Luis De Leon. Luis served as an aviation electronic micro-miniature technician and sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps, serving in the Marine Aviation Logistics Squadron 13 out of Yuma, Arizona, supporting fighter attack squadrons. He is from Los Angeles, California, and attends the Electrical and Computer Engineering program at the USC Viterbi School of Engineering. Luis is also an active peer mentor at USC's Veterans Resource Center, helping other veterans and military students transition from the military into university life. Please join us in welcoming Luis De Leon as our student veteran of the game and thanking him for his service. Please remain standing and join in singing as the Trojan Marching Band, under the direction of Dr. Jacob Vogel, plays our national anthem. And now, collegiate football's greatest battle cry, Conquest. And ridden by Dana Canstel, the Trojans mascot, Traveler. The Spirit of Troy, the University of Southern California Trojan Marching Band.
Hey family, take those phones out, scan the QR code. We're gonna set up our cameras again. Once again, scan the QR code. Make your phone our camera, and we're gonna come to you. Here we go. How about a loud applause for one of the greatest bands in all the universe? The greatest. Correction. Oh, come on, take those phones out. Take those phones out. Let's go. Wait a minute. Who's ready to get the win tonight? That's not loud enough. Who's ready to beat Utah? Here we go. All right, it's almost time for our team to come out. Everybody up. Come on, student section on your feet. Let's go, let's go. Everybody's up. If you're ready to get the win, somebody scream.
And now, please turn your attention to the tunnel and your tunnel captain for tonight's game. 2015 Freshman All-American and 2017 All-Pac-12 First Team linebacker, Cameron Smith.
What's up, Trojan fans? I need you to get up on your feet. It's time to go. These Trojans are coming out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Eat the dream. You have to sleep the dream. You have to dream the dream. You gotta be possessed with the dream. The dream.
As I walked through the valley with my ladder and flex, when they all thought we was finished, they was laughing at that. So I went and bought me a dart and flipped the head to the back. New drag, new whips on the way now. Wins and them losses, he come with being bosses. Look, come in your fix. Try to turn my lights out, it's still lit. Streets colored and they said they was some real. Young boy looking like he hit a real lick. We bring the wall. I just wanna shine like my road. Put it on the time and it up. Made it to the 9 and we lit. Driving 62, they down with me. No, I be there if they call on me. Yeah, my never change on my road dogs. But that can't be no days like we old dogs. Walk up in the day and I pull up rolls out. You tell that we're making like I told y'all.
Now taking the field, your USC Trojans.